What's going on, chicken friends? It's Donna Little from the Coop Scoop. I'm out here with the quail, and I want to show you guys what we've just done. But first, I want to tell you why we've done the things that we've done, and I'm going to tell you, having these quail so far has been quite the adventure. It has not gone as smoothly as I'd hoped, and you know, it's like I say sometimes in some of the videos I make about chickens. Experience is the best teacher, and I am getting a few lessons on how to keep quail. They're very, very different than chickens. Some things are sort of alike, but I've kind of got it down with chickens. I did actually just have something happen with the chickens the other day that I've never had happen before, and I think I'm going to make a video about it. But these guys, it's just kind of been, it's been a big learning curve. Now, I'm going to give you guys a quick little recap in case you've never seen any of my quail videos on what has happened. We ordered them at the beginning of June and we don't have any experience with quail. We ordered 10, and when they arrived, 2 of them had passed away. So we sent individual pictures of them to the farm we ordered it from because of our lack of experience, to make sure we actually still had a male, because we had ordered 2 males and 8 females. Through a few back and forths and everything with the farm, we ended up being told we had 1 male. So we were waiting for them to get old enough, you know, to start breeding and laying eggs and all that good stuff so that we can incubate eggs and use these birds for meat and eggs. Well, 1 started laying eggs, and a few days after we started to get our first eggs, I discovered who the male was, because I walked out and he was breeding with that particular female. And so I was like, I know who my rooster is, super happy, and you know, we're just hoping that the rest of them will start laying, because they were all running from him. Well, this little guy, I kind of chalked it up to teenage hormones. He was very, very aggressive in his approach with the females, and I thought, you know, I'm sure this will calm down, you know, once he gets in the swing of things and everything. And I mean, it has only been a couple of weeks, and so I walked out maybe after, like I said, maybe about 10 days or so, and found one of my other little quail mating with one of the other quail. So I was like, okay, I've got 2 males. Well, we intended to put them in this aviary type situation so they would have plenty of space and, you know, be able to sort of live like they would in the wild. And then we were going to build hutches and put their offspring in the hutches. And then as they matured, we would cull the ones down here. This is our plan. I mean, you know, I'm sure we were going to still tweak that a little bit, but then bring the offspring down and put a new set of offspring in, you know, the hutch. So that was sort of our plan. And I came out the other day to find that the male that's so aggressive had attacked the other male and had gashed his head, and he was bleeding. So I knew they needed to be separated immediately. Now, I thought I had plenty of time, because we still only have 3 of the females actually laying eggs. So I was like, I'm not going to start trying to even save eggs to incubate until all of the females are laying and I'm getting enough, you know, to be able to put, you know, make it worth my while to put them in an incubator. So while I was waiting for that to happen, you know, then I realized I had another male. So that sort of made me know I need to get on with it and get this other hutch built, because I have to separate these 2 now. Well, I put the little guy in a cat crate to begin with, just to get him to safety, cleaned up his head and everything, got a good look at it. He was hysterical, completely hysterical, because he was by himself, I guess. And so I put a little female in with him, and it just didn't go well, because it was sort of like then the 2 of them were hysterical, and they were just running in a circle through their food and through their water, and I thought, I can't leave him in here. And the problem was, I couldn't even really start on my quail enclosure that's going to be raised up off the ground, because we had ordered off of Amazon the hardware cloth that's going to go on it, and it was late arriving. It was supposed to be here like last week, and you know, it was several days late, and we didn't have it yet. So I had to figure out something to calm this quail down. And so I ended up putting him, and I'll just show you guys. in this little thing that we had put in here, and I just thought this will be a nice little place where they can, maybe if they want to use it for eggs, you know, to lay eggs in, which they do occasionally. So I just put a piece of hardware cloth on the front of this, and I put him in there with 3 of the females. Now I'm going to say, as soon as I did that, everybody calmed down. The male that has been so aggressive just chilled out. So we didn't realize all this time, ever since he discovered his hormones, that he was competing with another male, because we were told we only had 1 male. One of these days I'm going to be able to figure out, you know, who's a male and who isn't. But I do know how to do it as far as the vent sexing now. But, you know, live and learn, right? So the pressure was really on to get this other enclosure built, because I know it's got to be hot in there. We have had the worst weather that we've had in a long time. I live in Georgia, and it's not uncommon for it to be humid and hot, but it's like I live in Florida now without the benefit of the beach nearby. I mean, it has been torrential rains every day for absolutely weeks. So we'll have sunshine like we're having right now, and literally in 5 minutes the sky is black and we're having a storm with rain so hard it's been flooding into here. So somebody did comment in a short I made the other day, because I put some straw down where the most of the water is coming in just to absorb it. Took it up the next day, had to replace it again, took it up the next day. So I'm kind of just doing that because it's so flooded in here and I need them to have a dry place to stand. I know that it's not going to continue to rain like this, I hope, but I'm thinking that I might end up having to take both sets of quail and put them in hutches. And I hate to do that because I've got this nice area for them to be in. We'll see. You know, I'm going to just sort of let that play out and see how things dry out once the rain chills out. But we finally got it finished yesterday, and I was able to get the 4 quail out of this little thing, and I wanted them out of there as fast as possible because it is really, really hot, and that's enclosed on 3 sides. So I figured it was probably pretty hot in there. They had to spend 2 nights in there in 2 days. And I've got this thing done, so I'm going to turn the camera around and let you guys see what we've done. And I'm going to probably still make changes in here, but I'll show you what we've gotten done so far. And, you know, it is just because we were on such a time crunch that I had to sort of do this on the fly. So let me get this turned around and I'll show you. Okay, so here's what we've done. Let me get back away from this a little bit. But you have to be really careful in here because these little quail do not get out of your way when you're walking around. But it is a foot tall, and it's 8 feet long by 2 feet deep. So what I did was I just put this several inches down. I think it's about 6-7 inches. That's a poop board. And what I did is I just wrapped this piece of wood in plastic so it's nice and smooth, and then I just laid a couple of pieces of plastic on top of that. I cut them in half so they'll be a little bit easier to just pull out. I might change this and put some trays in there, but like I said, we were really on a time crunch. But that I'll just be able to pull out the plastic, go rinse it off, no big deal. But I went ahead and I got them a little dust bath in here, and God love them. I know they had to have been hot in there, and I had to put plastic on the top of this because I didn't realize the top was leaking. So the poor little guys were getting rained on in there, and I had to get everything good and dried out in there. But we've got a couple of doors here with latches, and so that way I can easily reach everything in there. And I gave them a little box in there with, you know, some shavings if they decide they want to lay eggs in there. And then I've just got this. This was just an old door from a cabinet, and I put that in there so that their food and water can sit on there. Of course, you're standing in your food bowl, you little weirdo. But the good thing is if anything were to happen and I open a door and a quail gets out, they're back in the aviary. They're not out. And so this is working out so far. Everybody has just completely calmed down since I separated the 2 groups. So that has made me very, very happy. I don't have anybody fighting because I really just didn't realize that that little male was competing with his competition. I didn't know he had it. That's him right there. I didn't know he had any competition. So I think we're going to probably have a little setback in the egg laying because they have everybody's just sort of gone through a change. Because the last 2 days I've only gotten 1 egg a day, and we were getting 3. So hopefully everything is going to work out, and these little guys are going to be happy. They, like I said, have been very, seem like they've been very calm and happy in there, and they just have enjoyed taking a dust bath again because they didn't have access to it. But you can see how wet the sand is here. I mean, when I say we've had torrential rains, it has been worse and it's daily, than I've ever seen. So the ground has stayed pretty wet. It's kind of dry-ish in the middle of the run, but what I've been doing is just coming in and changing the straw out every day and just letting it absorb some of this because it was so muddy, and I know that they like to not be on wet ground. So we might have somebody in there. I can't really see in there, but that is what we've done. I'm very happy with this hutch. We're going to, like I said, build another one, and I'll just put it up above this one and where I can reach it because I'm pretty short. So this one's only, I think, 34 inches off the ground. So that'll, put that up there where it'll sort of be like right at my chest, and I'll be able to reach in there and take care of the quail that go up there. But I hope you guys are enjoying our content, and I hope you'll stick around. We've got a lot more things coming up. Have a fantastic day, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.